In the headlines this morning, Anambra State Commissioner for Public Utilities, Nwankwo, confirms more state government interventions to increase electricity supply. APGA National Chairman Oye promises to make party strongest in Nigeria. The Nigerian Navy warns 2019 recruitment applicants against fake list of successful candidates. And on the foreign scene this morning, U.S. medical doctors mine into medical records to fight country's most devastating missile outbreak. Ebere Ugonna is my name, and the news and details. The Commissioner for Public Utilities, Mr. Nwankwo, says the Anambra State government will take more urgent steps to ensure that electricity and power supply improves in the state capital territory. The Public Utilities Commissioner was speaking to the ABS in an exclusive interview on the interventions being made by the state government in the power sector. We have details.
Commissioner Nwankwo revealed that alongside the agreements made by the government and the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company EEDC that bettered the 1/7.5 MVA injection substation at the Anambra Broadcasting Service and the 1/15 MVA new installation at Agwoka, Governor Willie Obiano has indicated interest to support the EEDC to acquire a new 2/15 MVA to accomplish the dream of increasing power supply to at least 18 hours per day in Oka and the environs. He recalls some other interventionary efforts made by the government in the power sector in the past 5 years, to include the installation of all transformers acquired by the previous administration, the acquisition and installation of 400 new transformers for communities, the implementation of 13 kVA line from Awado Onitsha to Nnewi, 33 kVA line from Oka to parts of Anambra North, and the restoration of power supply to communities in Orumba South and parts of the North who had been without power for over 11 years.
So these are massive investments in the system, and is helping the people of Anambra State. And I call it intervention because it's not really his responsibility, but because he loves his people, that's why he's doing it. So thereby I'm calling on the Anambra people to show that love back by what? Making sure that they protect and preserve all these equipments. Because, they shouldn't see it as government equipment. No, it's for them.
While noting that with the privatization of the distribution of power in the country, it is no longer in the powers of the government to perform those roles, but an understanding that power remains paramount to the attraction of investors to the state and sustaining the success on security prompted the state government to make such interventions on the sector. He therefore urged residents of the state to reciprocate the actions of government to protect and preserve electricity installations and investments in the areas and make appropriate reports to security agencies when they notice the activities of vandals.
The people there are the people enjoying it. Do you understand? So let them take it as their property and call the police if they see anybody that is because sometimes these people come, disguise themselves, call themselves EEDC. So if you are not sure that these are not regular EEDC people that you see around, call the police and make sure that the people are dealt with.
As part of efforts to launch the Anambra Broadcasting Service on DSTV platform, plans are in top gear for the commencement of a 24-hour transmission by the station. The Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adenoba, disclosed this during a meeting with the editorial staff, some technical and content support staff of the establishment at the Jerome Odoji Secretariat Complex in Oka. Equia Jide filed the report. Taken.
Speaking at the meeting, Mr. Adenoba, who expressed satisfaction with the level of improvement on the content of the organization, assured that the state government is committed to realizing the dream in a matter of weeks. Mr. Adenoba stressed the state government's commitment to addressing the basic challenges of the organization and called on the staff to develop better synergy and teamwork across departments to deliver better results.
We did very well. The graphics, the rebranding, I saw they were beautiful rebranding. We must continue to improve in all ramifications, in all ways, in all forms. We must do things anew.
On his part, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the ABS, Chief Uche Nwora, who recalled the outstanding support of the Obiano administration to ensuring that ABS remains the best in the Southeast, assured that the staff are ready for the 24-hour transmission. He disclosed plans for staff training, content and knowledge interchange with the British Broadcasting Corporation BBC and the Deutsche Welle Germany.
A 6-hour shot, and I can tell you that the 6-hour shot we can easily make up. We don't normally repeat programs. We don't even repeat our news. So all our news are fresh.
The meeting, which was also attended by the Commissioner for Indigenous Artworks, Diaspora Affairs, Culture and Tourism, Mrs. Salim Banefo, addressed the issues of expanding quality content that will appeal to the growing viewers of the organization, both on their terrestrial and digital platforms. Also in the attendance at the meeting were the Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Mrs. Obie Umade, the Director of News and Current Affairs of the ABS, Mr. Gabe Obaleze, among others.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, Dr. Victor Oye, has for the umpteenth time assured that his vision for the party is to grow it into a brand to become the strongest political party in Nigeria. Dr. Oye reinstated this when he received in residence members of the newly formed Old Awka Forum, a conglomeration of stakeholders from Awka North and South local government areas. He assured that if elected for a second time as the national chairman of the party in its forthcoming national convention, he will drive to make the party to become the first in the country from its present third place in ranking. While praising the members of the Old Awka Forum for their show of brotherhood, Dr. Oye also urged all agreed members of the party to shed their swords and become truly their brother's keeper. He also revealed that the party has concluded plans with different international donor agencies to help train its members on leadership. Earlier in a speech, the member representing Awka South 1 constituency in the Anambra State House of Assembly, pharmacist Nnamdi Okafor, who spoke on behalf of the forum, commended their chairman for his spectacular performance in office and assured him of their total support ahead of the national convention of the party. Also in attendance at the visit included the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Hafod Oseke, members-elect of the State House of Assembly from the zone, present and immediate past transition chairman of Awka North and South local government area, and other top stakeholders of the party in local government areas. As the havoc of the fire remains one of the worst threats to mankind and its environment, it is the firefighters that risk the ultimate sacrifice of safety and protection. It is against this backdrop that the officers and men of the Anambra State Fire Service, Awka, joined their counterparts across the globe to mark the 2019 International Fighters Day. Correspondent Daniel Ezi will witness the event of the Anambra State Fire Service headquarters, Awka, and has more in this report.
That was a sound off, a short parade that defines a special time to stop and reflect on the sacrifices made by firefighters, held on the first Sunday of May at noon local time each year, when fire sirens sound for 30 seconds, followed by a minute's silence in memory of and respect for all firefighters who have been lost in the line of duty or passed on before us. International Firefighters Day, IFFD, observed on May 4th each year, according to the organizers' publication, is a time when the world's community can recognize and honor the sacrifices that firefighters make to ensure that communities and environments are as safe as possible. The profundity of the International Firefighters Day is well reflected on a note by Lieutenant J.J. Edmondson, the founder of the day, who noted that in the fire service, all fight together against one common enemy. Since the day was instituted after a proposal was emailed out across the world on January 4th, 1999, due to the deaths of 5 firefighters in tragic circumstances in wildfire at Linton in Victoria, Australia. The day has been held across the world for 20 years on May 4th, also known in some countries as St. Florian's Day, the patron saint of firefighters globally. Speaking to the men and officers of the service in Awka, the Director and Chief Fire Officer, Anambra State Fire Service, Engineer Martin Abeli, reminded them that their duties demand endurance, commitment, and sacrifice, and urged them to take comfort in the fact that they stand in the core of humanitarianism in the world.
We are today remembering the dedication, the commitment, and the passion of which you and every one of us discharge this duty called firefighting.
Those who were honored at the event included Mr. Ishmael Ogasoro, a one-time director of the Anambra State Fire Service, led Maxwell Afujuo, who lost his life in December 2015 when a building collapsed on him during a rescue mission at Ochanja Market, Onitsha. His partner on the day, Sunday Obiora, who sustained broken leg and lungs, and Chukwuma Okonkwo, who sustained fire burns while trying to fight tanker fire at Agoka. The honored firefighters say they owe their bravery to spiritual service and extended special praise to Governor Willie Obiano for reaching out to them.
This time around, in short, I think glory will go on to the governor, the Anambra State, Willie Obiano.
Civil or Chanja, so good that one of my colleagues dies, and I'm the only one survive here. Any can snake will be capable. No, I must leave any. You see, so now on in fire service today, overall somebody is having no God wish.
Anambra State Broadcasting Service (ABS) was also honored by the service for its valuable media support and partnership. The theme for this year's International Firefighters Day is "Geared Up for Fire: The Role of Firefighters in Today's Society." In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
The Catholic Church yesterday celebrated the feast of St. Joseph the Worker, who is the patron saint of all Catholic fathers. The day is therefore marked as Father's Sunday to remind fathers of their roles in family and nation building. Amaka Chibuzokoe filed the report.
In all the churches visited, fathers took the center stage of the Mass, starting from the readings, serving in the Mass, and as church wardens with special fathers' song in conducting the Mass. They were also seen in their uniforms, thanking God for His mercies upon their lives. In our homily, the parish priest of St. Mary's Catholic Church, Ifitedunu, Reverend Father Venatus Obuagu, said that fathers are the shepherds in their families. Therefore, they must love God, put Him first in all they do, and take care of their flocks accordingly. A priest in residence at St. Joseph the Worker Chaplaincy, Unizik Permanent Site, Oka, Reverend Father Bonabi Jude in Yabasi, said that fatherhood is a vocation which calls for nurturing, taking charge and authority, as they are the seen Christ in their different homes, whom the family look upon for shelter. In their various goodwill messages, the Secretary to the Anambra State Government, Professor Solochukwu Lobelo, the Vice Chancellor Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Joseph Ahaneku, and the Chairman, Catholic Men Organization, St. Joseph the Worker Chaplaincy, Unizik, Oka, Professor Dennis Haribodo, encouraged fathers to emulate the qualities and life of St. Joseph to take care of their families.
I think my advice is to take the cue from the sermon today for us to do a kind of reality check from time to time.
In all our dispositions, in the offices we occupy, we are supposed to really be fatherly in our disposition. So we are praying God, asking God to keep blessing our fathers.
That will not stop them from carrying out their primary duty, which is providing for everybody.
Meanwhile, in other churches, normal church services held at St. Stephen's Anglican Church, Ifitedunu, the vicar, Reverend Canon Charles Chukura, challenged the church to ensure the work of mission is promoted for more evangelism and soul winning. While at Jesus Everlasting Evangelical Ministry Incorporated, Oka, the priest, Reverend Pastor Israel Madubeze, charged Christians to flow in the supernatural and worship God wholeheartedly. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
And moving on to our national stories, the Nigerian Navy says it has not released the list of successful candidates for its 2019 recruitment. Naval spokesman Commodore Suleiman Dahu made this known in a statement in Abuja yesterday. Dahu said the list of successful candidates would be released to the public through the Navy official website and the media. He also alerted the public of the existence of a fake list of successful candidates in its 2019 recruitment online. Dahu advised members of the public to be wary of such fraudulent sites. And on business news, the federal government spends about 70% of the revenue inflow in the Consolidated Revenue Fund account on recurrent expenditure. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, disclosed this in a presentation made at a retreat on the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System. The Consolidated Revenue Fund is an account that is owned and managed by the federal government where all its revenues are paid. The IP scheme, which commenced in 2007, is one of the federal government's reform initiatives designed to centralize payroll and payment systems, facilitate convenient workers' remuneration with minimal wastage, aid manpower training and budgeting. It also facilitates planning, monitoring of the monthly payment of workers' emoluments against what was provided for in the budget, ensures database integrity, facilitates easy storage, as well as updating and retrieval of personnel records for administrative and pension processes. She described a situation where the 70% of the federal government revenue was spent on recurrent as worrisome, adding that if not corrected, it would not free the much-needed resources for improving the standard of living of the people. And moving on to the foreign scene, U.S. doctors are tapping into their electronic medical records to identify unvaccinated patients and potentially infected individuals to help contain the worst U.S. measles outbreak in 25 years. New York's NYU Langone Health Network of hospitals and medical offices treats patients from both Rockland County and Brooklyn, two epicenters of the outbreak. It has built alerts into its electronic medical record systems to notify doctors and nurses that a patient lives in an outbreak area based on their zip code. Alerts in a patient's medical record also prompt conversations with their visitors who may also have been exposed to the virus about their own health, prior exposures to measles, and vaccination history. Mount Sinai Health System in New York rolled out a seminar program last week, said Dr. Bruce Darrow, its Chief Medical Information Officer. On sports news, Bayern Munich confirmed that veteran French star Franck Ribéry will end his 12-year spell at the club at the end of this season and announced that he and fellow stalwart Arjen Robben will be granted a farewell match next year. In a statement on their website yesterday, the Bundesliga club announced that the Frenchman would not extend his contract beyond June 2019. Robben, age 35, confirmed his impending departure at the end of last year, and it was widely expected that Ribéry would follow suit. As Bayern prepare for a squad overhaul ahead of next season, the two wingers have been defining stars in a dominant decade for Bayern, winning the Champions League in 2013 as well as a host of domestic titles. Bayern announced that they would organize a big farewell game for both Ribéry and Robben to be held in 2020. And that's it in the news this morning. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And just before we go this morning, a quick reminder of our top stories. Anambra State Commissioner for Public Utilities, Nwankwo, has confirmed more state government interventions to increase electricity supply. APGA National Chairman Oye has promised to make party strongest in Nigeria. The Nigerian Navy has warned 2019 recruitment applicants against fake list of successful candidates. And on the foreign scene, we brought to you that the U.S. medical doctors is mining into medical records to fight country's most devastating measles outbreak. And that's the size of our package this morning. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I'm Ebere Ugunna. Good morning, Anambra. Continue shortly. Please stay with us.